Thanks, Riaz. Good morning. Another cautionary tale for parents after a Surrey boy fell from a third-story apartment. Do we have Greg Harper for this story? On location, we do. Hello, Greg Harper outside BC Children's Hospital with the latest. Greg?
Well, good morning, Jody. It is a parent's worst nightmare. We are outside BC Children's Hospital where a 5-year-old boy is in serious condition. He was flown here yesterday afternoon. This accident happened around noon yesterday afternoon at an apartment complex in Surrey. The 5-year-old boy somehow fell from the balcony, falling 3 stories. He, again, is in serious condition right now. 3 days ago, a 3-year-old girl fell out of a window at a home in Langley. She was also airlifted to hospital with injuries to her head. And some of you may remember last month, a boy somehow fell out of a window at a home in Maple Ridge. He later died from his injuries. Parents are now being reminded to lock up the patio, the windows as well. Lots of screens out there, but they're not strong enough to prevent kids from falling through. And these are some sobering numbers. This is according to Safe Kids Canada. On average, over 20,000 children are injured every year, bad enough to go to the hospital. And these are injuries suffered at home, and over half of these injuries are from falls. And in some cases, that's through windows and from balconies. Jody?
Seems like a daily warning nowadays. Thank you very much. Greg Harper reporting live for us this morning from BC Children's Hospital. And a different type of fall in downtown Vancouver yesterday sent a man to hospital. A mechanical lift bumped into an awning above a store on Burrard. The awning clipped the man who happened to be walking by. He was rushed to hospital with a head injury. The lift operator was working on a window above the store. The project is on hold while WorkSafe BC investigates. Some big health concerns in the Fraser Valley where the measles have made a comeback. A man infected with the virus paid a visit to the maternity ward last week at Abbotsford Regional Hospital. 30 moms and their newborns may have been exposed to the measles. The Fraser Health Authority has observed a rash of cases in the valley, blaming the outbreak on low vaccination rates. Symptoms include fever, coughing, sneezing, and a rash. Friends and family of the 16-year-old pilot, Lauren Perreault, who are paying tribute, that is, to the teen after his body and his Cessna plane were found Wednesday near Cache Creek. Perreault set out from the Kamloops airport on a training flight on Tuesday. He never made it back. He was found about 35 kilometers outside the training area. The teen had his recreational pilot's license and more than 90 hours of flight experience.
We have zones that are designated and approved by Transport Canada as training zones, and Lauren was unfortunately found outside of that zone. We don't really know why or what led to that, so at this point anything that we say really is not, it's conjecture.
2 weeks after a fuel spill in the Slocan Valley, the first lawsuit has been filed. The class action suit names the province and the company that owns the truck that spilled its load. Jet fuel leaked into Lemon Creek and the nearby Slocan River. So far, the action is only being brought by a local farmer, but others are expected to join. The lawsuit alleges the driver used a road that was off limits before his vehicle rolled. Here at home, worried owners are turning in their snakes and many other reptiles after hearing about the tragedy in New Brunswick.
This is a very, I'm going to say, emaciated lizard here. You see the bones there? You should not be able to see that.
This illegally owned Nile monitor will need to go to an animal rescue facility with special permits. Experts say that's because this particular lizard can grow to over 6 feet in length and can be aggressive. The reptile guy is also looking after a 6-foot-long carpet python turned in this week by a Surrey couple with young children.
Well, they just didn't snake around their house after seeing the story. I think they were looking to find a home for it anyways, but when they saw the story, they wanted it out immediately.
Hopcraft says owning a snake is a lifelong commitment. They can live for up to 30 years. He adds that while carpet pythons and boa constrictors are legal in BC, owners need special permits once snakes grow to 9 feet long. Crews have started seizing animals from the Campbellton, New Brunswick exotic pet store under the apartment where the 2 small boars were killed on Monday. The National Resources Department has a warrant to search the Reptile Ocean shop and seize illegally owned animals. Yesterday, 3 trained zoo staff members carried out what looked like an alligator wrapped in white fabric. Preliminary autopsy reports indicate that 4- and 6-year-old Noah and Connor Barth were asphyxiated by an African rock python owned by the exotic pet store owner who was hosting them at a sleepover. Let's lighten things up significantly, shall we, and turn our attention to sports at 6:37. Over in Glace Bay, Nova Scotia at the Little League Championship, Team BC finished a perfect 6-0 round robin. BC is represented by the White Rock Little Leaguers, of course. Yesterday, the boys won with an 11-7 victory over the Alberta representatives from Medicine Hat. The perfect preliminary round advances the White Rock All-Stars to the tournament semifinals tomorrow. Canadian champion earns a trip to the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania next week. White Rock represented Canada in 2007 and in 2008.